morning, it's Bill McCall with Cherry City Corvair Center. January the 1st, 2018. Yes, I am working. I've had several people ask about video rebuilding the front suspension on a Corvair. Today we're going to be working on a late model Corvair. Customer had complained of brakes pulling hard to the right or locking up on the right. Not just necessarily pulling, but locking up on the right pretty easy. All the brake components were changed with new components. What's happening is suspension components, bushings, worn out to the point where it's actually changing geometry on the front end and contributing to that problem. So today we pulled the front end out. Best thing to do on the front suspension is to take every component you can out while the cross member is still bolted to the car. It gives you a lot more leverage, easier to work with. We've got parts laid out on the table that we're going to be replacing all the bushings, upper and lower ball joints, tie rods. We got new sleeves with the tie rods, make the job a lot easier. A lot of times the sleeves are rusted to the point where they're really difficult to work with. Okay, we've disassembled all the components we've got to remove from the car. One of the difficult points are these control rods. People refer to them as hockey sticks. Some people will apply heat to get the nuts off. They can be very difficult. I use a cut-off wheel and just cut the nut off. The tap on this is an 11/16 18 count. I made one of the nuts with a hacksaw, cut some grooves in here to make my own tap to go down on it. It cleans them good enough to work. If you've got damaged threads, you're going to look at probably replacing this hockey stick. When you order your components from Clark's, it's a good idea to go ahead and order a set of new nuts for it. Makes your job a lot easier. Next thing we're going to do is grind off these upper ball joints so we can press them out. So we'll get to that in a minute. Alright, what we're going to do is grind these rivets off, and then the other one we'll have to drill through and make sure we've got the bolts that come with the kit to bolt this back in. One of the things you want to look out for when you're pressing these bushings out is you don't want to compress this arm right here, and if you go to beating on it in a hammer and a press, if you're not careful, you can distort that. You can make a jig out of metal pipe, cut it to length, and then cut it in half down the center and wrap it with a hose clamp to secure it in place, and that'll keep you from collapsing that arm. Okay, when we left off, we were grinding the rivets on our ball joints. We were grinding from the outside. I found that grinding them from the inside and punching them out, they're holding a lot better, so that worked a lot easier. We got all our bushings pressed out. Got a cross member cleaned up. The reason I clean up the cross member is because a lot of these will rust in places that you can't see. If I get it down to the metal, I can see what condition the cross member's in and what we've got to work with. Now, all we got to do is finish cleaning up our parts, paint the rest of our parts, install our bushings. Remember, when you're installing the bushings, you want to use these spacers in here so that you're not going to collapse this A-arm right here. As well, pressing your new bushings in, that you want to put this spacer in here on both sides to keep this from collapsing when you press this bushing in from either end. Alright, I want to thank you for watching our videos. I hope you found this helpful. Be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube videos, and if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section.